Frij means neighborhood in Arabic. These four grandmothers living in a secluded neighborhood in modern-day Dubai, they've witnessed the change of the United Arab Emirates from the days where it was a pearl diving hub, seeing the country becoming this metropolis. And with that comes more and more complicated issues. As big as the problems are, they always find a very simple solution.
We help entrepreneurs to start from scratch, so we incubate them, we finance them. In the past 10 years, contracts worth of 1 billion dirhams been spent through small medium enterprises supported by us. They are the source of innovation. They are the most flexible businesses that you can have in any economy, and they grow really fast.
My name is Rashid bin Shabib. I am the co-founder of Brown Book Magazine, co-founder of Shelter, and the co-founder of Pavilion.
And my name is Ahmed bin Shabib. Ditto. Is that it? Yeah, same. We issued a newsletter, and it grew from being a newsletter to a kind of an idea of redefining the Middle East.
This is the first issue we have had since our redesign. We feature 4 profiles of people within the region who we feel are sort of moving the creative conversation forward.
To start a business in Dubai is fantastic, but there is no space where you can sit and work on your idea. Hence Shelter and hence Pavilion.
If you have an idea, you can come in here, you can work on it, you can share your idea with these people, with the community.
So this is one of the prototypes of the shelter. We had a very tiny one, and then we had this size, and then we have the big size. We came up with this idea of Pavilion. We built the space, we put in the restaurant, we created an annual program of film, art, discussions, and talks. In a very short period of time, we've managed to create a very important part of the cultural scene in Dubai.
There are other entrepreneurs which are international entrepreneurs or expats who have sat here and started things like Dubizzle.
Dubizzle is an online classified service. So it's essentially, if you grew up with paper classifieds, it's that, but online. We were sleeping on a friend's couch. We just needed to have a service like Dubizzle that would be able to provide us places where we can find a job and find an apartment and all of that kind of stuff.
We're now in 14 different countries, 22 cities. We have about 2.4, 2.5 million unique users across the region that come to our site every single month.
When Yahoo first came into the region about 2 years ago, we had around 19 million users. We acquired a company called Maktoob. Maktoob started back in 2000. When people used to ask us what it was, we used to say, well, we're the Yahoo of the Arab world. The Middle East really is the fastest growing region for the internet worldwide. We have in total around 70 million people that are online today in this region. We're expecting another 50 million people to come online in the next 2 years.
The foresight of creating the free zones, and I think Dubai was the first place regionally to do so, has really made the city a business hub.
People who think alike want to be together. That provides them the platform that they can share ideas and partner with each other.
I'm sitting here, I'm an animation company. Across the road from me is my lawyer, which is media-oriented. Next to that is my post-production house. And because it's a free zone, a lot of international companies who are very good at what they do come here and we brush shoulders with them.
Dubai will always have that spark. Everyone that's here is here for a reason, and they're here to go after something, and they're here for some sort of ambition.
The cluster formula is working. Yeah. The businesses are here, the brand agencies are here, the production companies are here.
There's a lot of energy in the city. There's a can-do attitude. This mindset that I have a dream and I want to make it happen. Dubai has the energy and the people to make it happen.
now with me, the store manager of Splendor Milkshake, Mr. Anthony. Let's see what does he thinks about entrepreneurship.
Okay, and so far, this company that I'm managing with is it's a franchise from UK, and it is owned by a local from Bahrain. So yeah, it's a local Bahraini from Bahrain. So this is the first store that he used to franchise here in the Middle East, but in UK. There is a lot of franchise already for S-blended milkshakes. So for the past 2 years that I'm managing this store, at first it's quite hard because you need to introduce the product to people, okay, especially for the locals here who used to live here. It just so happened that most of the clients are like they're familiar also with the product. That's why they love S-blended, and they have been to UK, so they know already the product itself. Okay. So that's why they're very happy to know the product itself. So for the youth entrepreneurship, I do have known some of my friends way back from the Philippines that since college they're starting to build up their own businesses, like for example a family-owned business of their own, like small store or grocery store, something like this, and sometimes it's a small into food business actually, and it's quite easy for them to give that business a good income because of their own leadership as well that they're doing. Yeah. So far, I think that's it.
Okay.
Anything else, guys?
Thank you, Mr. Anthony. It was a great pleasure interviewing you. Next up, we met with Mr. Ru'ayn. He works at a shop called Italy. While interviewing him, he said some words that really appealed to me.
And all my experience built up on hospitality, especially in the restaurants. And I started from the scratch. Thanks God, whenever you do your work with the passion, spirit, you can reach such level of success in your life.
Okay, thank you. Now, let's meet Saleh al-Break, an Emirati character that represents
her tone was different. You know, she wasn't thinking, oh, al-Break, you know, his father's grandmother's dog, step-niece's great aunt is related to me in some weird way. It was more of a pronunciation error. You know, she didn't know how to spell it, and once that was over, she asked me another question that kind of took me by surprise. She was like, what do you do? And I was like, what do you mean, what do I do? I never experienced this question before. And you have to understand, not only was it a culture shock when I went to a foreign country, you know, there were literally no Emiratis at the school, besides a few PhD that were married and let's just say can't really meet on an intellectual level. Yeah, so I was literally alone. So it was a culture shock for me there, and this time it was a social shock because I didn't understand what she meant by what do you do, and the question that followed was even more baffling. She was like, where are you going? And I quickly realized, like, okay, so these people want to know who I am as an individual, and they wanted to know what my dreams were, what my aspirations were, what my ambition was. They weren't concerned about what company my father owned or the car that I drove in that morning, which was a bus for 4 years. And that started a beautiful relationship that I held for 4 years. So you see how sad I was when I had to move on, as life goes, into graduation. And for a unemployed graduate, I had to look up cheap ways, and when I mean cheap, I mean dead cheap ways to market these products. So I was, searching on Google ways how to market, grassroots marketing, cheap ways to do it, and I stumbled upon this thing, Twitter. I never knew what that was, and so I went on YouTube, and I said, how to twit. And there was this whole @ thing and hashtag thing, which until this day I'm not very familiar with, but I had adopted it, and it worked. It really got, I learned how to do it, and it got the product out. But what I didn't know was the fact that I was gonna connect with people, connect with my community again, by such a simple social media tool. You see, the beautiful thing about Twitter was the whole anonymity thing. You know, everyone was anonymous. No one had, well, in 2009, no one had last names. No one had first names. You know, there were names like Sahar al-Lail and like Mu'ayun al-Maha, and you know, these like, and even I had my own. I don't know how many of you know this, but before Fearless in Dubai came along, I was going under the company's slogan, and I was actually once known for almost 10 months as DoFruit_UAE. And I say that with pride, okay? But that was it. And yeah, good riddance. But if you check your timelines, it's still there, by the way. Anyway, so what did I soon realize? I soon realized that after such a simple social media tool was reconnecting me with an entire generation, with you guys, I realized that we had talented people, crazy talented, unlike I've ever seen. You know, they always say the generation before us, you know, were the industrial ones, but the ones now, you know, illustration, directing, graphic design, anything you can imagine, sports, Mariam, wherever she is. I was connecting with people more on what they dreamed to be or what they achieved to be, instead of associating them, like I said, with these social factors that I mentioned. So I decided, okay, what now? What can I do? You know, why am I the only one benefiting from this when my brothers could benefit from this? When actually, why not just think bigger? Why not the world benefit from this? So it took me a few months, and with the support of my family and friends, I launched something 4 months ago called Think Up. So Think Up, in summary, because I don't want you guys to sleep, is a virtual hub where like-minded nationals, I assumed it was just going to be Dubai, but I was like, why not go crazy and do the entire region? Where like-minded nationals from the entire GCC would come back, connect, and all they would do was express their talents and express their passion on a site that they could call home. You know,